Hey guys, I bought this Synology NAS about 4 or 5 months ago in an absolute panic because I was running out of file storage space and I was just terrified at the lack of backup that I had for all of my files. So the thing that blew me away after getting this was discovering how much more a NAS is than just a file storage and backup system. So I'm pretty tech savvy, but I just didn't have the time to really get into networking and all of that stuff. So I really didn't know a lot about these products, but I want to show you the software side of what you get when you purchase one of these, and then we'll dive into the hardware. If you're anything like me, it's going to blow you away the number of cloud services that this thing replaces for you, and it's going to be private and secure. Okay, so when you install your NAS, you'll be able to, it's got its own like operating system and everything, and you have all of these different packages that you can install. These are like optional packages that you can use with your server. You have audio station, you can have like a multimedia server. There's Synology calendar, contacts, there's Synology Drive. You can essentially replace Google Docs, Google Sheets. There's a direct replacement for that. That's Synology, and it's all yours. It's all private. It's not going to Google. There's other things like different sorts of scheduled backups. There's email servers. You can install like Python and like run scripts on this. It has a whole surveillance station, so you can actually buy security cameras and plug this into your NAS and have your own local storage. And it's like a whole specialized software specifically for surveillance. It has secure chat, so there's like a whole chat server. Now, the other thing is, oh my God, Synology Photos. You can get rid of Google Photos or whatever you're using for your photos. And there's a bunch of apps that go with it. So you can have your photos that you take on your phone automatically back up to your NAS. They're not going to third parties. So that's the big thing I want to emphasize here is like, you're not just getting file storage and backup, which is Synology is amazing with those two things, but you are getting all of these cloud services that you're paying for or kind of, losing your privacy over that you can now have local. Okay. Now let me jump into some of the hardware aspect of why this thing is really awesome. Okay, so here's the deal. This thing is designed to be extremely easy to use. The drives just come out like this, no tools necessary. When you put hard drives in here, you don't even need tools. These little side pieces just pop off and the drive goes into place, and that's it. And you literally just pop it in, clip it down, and you're good to go. So this is the DS923 Plus. So it has 4 bays. There's a ton of different versions you can get. You essentially, the way you can set this up, there's number of different ways you can set this up. As far as redundancy goes, I went with a RAID setup, which essentially allows me to store data on the capacity of what 2 drives are, and then the capacity of the 3rd drive is essentially lost to redundancy. And so that allows me to have one drive fail and still not lose any of my data. So I currently have 3 drives in here. This drive is blank, so I can always add this later on if I want to and gain more space. Yeah, so again, these things just clip right off. So you just pop the drive in there, and these just pop back in, and that's it. That's as simple as it is to put a drive in place. And you've got a power button right here to turn it on and turn it off. USB port right here. On the back, you've got the cooling fans, 2 Ethernet ports. And so the way I use this is I have one going right from my router to provide, internet access directly to the NAS. And then I have another one going to my computer. That way I have super fast communication between my computer and my NAS. So I don't have to go through like a wireless network in order to transfer files. So it's super fast. This is your power supply. I can't remember what this is. This looks like a SATA connection. Yeah, I think this is a SATA connection. So I guess you can add like an external drive maybe. I honestly can't remember that part. But there's one more thing I want to share with you. And right on the bottom here, There are ports for those M.2 drives. These are like the solid state drives. There's 2 of them here. And again, toolless. I only have 1 installed right now. Basically, one of these slots will provide a buffer for read, and another one will provide buffer for writing. And so the way I understand it is essentially like if I have video files, like I do video editing. So if I have a video file on my NAS, I can call that up on my computer, and what'll happen is that file will be loaded into this solid state drive as like a buffer, or like a quick access memory. Maybe I'm not using the right term, but it basically allows that fast transfer of referencing, you know, the files that I'm using right now in the moment. And so that's been working out really well for me too. And again, this is totally toolless. It's super easy. You just pull this little tab, it pivots out, and literally that's it. So really easy to put these in. No tools required. So overall, I've been incredibly happy with this. I've just been blown away at the additional like things that I can do with this. It's like really cool. I like geek out on it. I haven't been able to explore all of it at this point, but you know, as far as like reliability and like having this just work, Synology is kind of like, you know, similar to Apple in that sense, where everything is just easy to use. You know, you can get geeky if you want to and kind of do the advanced properties of different things. But if you just want to get this thing done and set up and reliable, that is a way you can approach it as well. There are a ton of like free NAS operating systems, if that's what it's called, so you can like kind of build your own and whatever. But I really think just paying a little bit extra to get this brand that has a ton of like the software support behind it and updates and things like that is incredibly worth it. All right, guys, that's my review of this Synology NAS.